Packers believe that Rodgers at some point will take stock, and the one thing that he does not want is his legacy in Green Bay to be tarnished to the point where he is at the point of no return. And that he'll, if you will, blink, for the lack of a better phrase, or soften, if you want to use a less infused word, and come back. And or assign whatever's in front of him. And, you know, I have always a sense in the world of about any deal that I've wanted to have happen in my life, whether it's negotiating, you know, for my broadcast contract, this show's existence, buying a home. You're a homeowner, Chris.
I am.
Mike Del Tufo?
Yes.
Right? TJ, do you own or rent? I don't know.
I rent.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm not balling yet, Rich.
No, at some point, you know, you're in this position. I always have a mindset that there's 2 times during a negotiation that you want to have happen, 2 times where you'll feel like it's never going to happen. 2 times. Did you ever have that? Did you have that experience when you were buying your home?
Yes,
Okay.
Absolutely. And with this show, Rich, it felt like it was never going to happen.
Okay, so I mean,
back in the day.
So, yeah. And with the Packers and Rodgers, they probably thought that this deal was absolutely going to happen. Like Rodgers wasn't going to do what he's doing right now.
Right.
The first time where they had to think, oh gosh, this may not happen, is when they went out to California, apparently, and put something in front of them, and there was a problem. And then the Schefter report comes out on that Thursday of the draft, and you know what?
Oh, bleep.
Where now Coach LaFleur is fielding a phone call from his good buddy Kyle Shanahan saying, hey, I'm doing my due diligence. I know that we've owned the entire news cycle for the last 7 weeks about what we're doing, trading all the way up to 3. I'm ready to pitch all of that if Rodgers is available. Literally, that phone call. And he's just like, yeah, it's not happening. Click. That's one time. The second time is going to be when Rodgers doesn't show up again.
Yeah.
And I think they're already front-loading this is an evenly divided fan base now. I'm fully admitting this, types Mark Murphy and hitting send into Packers.com to try and get Rodgers to understand those Aaron Go Pack signs that are out there.
I can't believe that.
I mean,
That Rob Domofsky says somebody put on a front lawn out there in Green Bay.
Like it's Friday Night Lights.
It's kind of what it is, right? That maybe they're front loading to avoid that second time when Rodgers doesn't show up, because Rodgers, I don't think, is going to show up. And then this is going to be another one of those moments where this deal may not get done. And they'll feel that. And Rodgers may feel that sort of pressure that he's hearing about that. Jordan Love said that they talked a week before the offseason workout program was beginning. So it's not like Aaron's completely disappeared. I'm sure he's talking to all of his friends on the team, and I would be stunned if he's just totally tapped out of society.
You think he hasn't texted Devontae Adams?
So
I mean, come on.
he may know what the boots are on the ground, but all you have to see here is what happened with Favre. It can't get any worse than that in Green Bay. Okay? The only way it can get worse than that is if Rodgers says, I'm out. And then they go with Jordan Love, and then he calls up, I'm back in. I actually, my bad, I want it. Like, that's what Favre did.
Well, that's what Favre did. Multiple times.
But the one time that Mike McCarthy said, we've moved on, which is what Andrew Brandt told the story yesterday of Favre saying, I'm out, but now I want to come back. And McCarthy's like, yeah, we're finally moving on Aaron Rodgers. We've moved on. And I heard, I'll tell the story. I heard that the brass went to visit Favre in the middle of all that.
Packers.
Correct.
Front office.
Correct. Went down to his, I didn't get this from Favre, okay? I'll just say that.
Went to Mississippi.
Yes. And went down there and visited him to tell him when maybe he thought that they were coming to tell him to come back. They told him, hey, we'll send, you want your locker?
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I heard.
Oh,
Hey, do you want, we'll send it to you.
wow.
I might be setting something off here because I wasn't I don't know. I'm just like telling. I mean, it's years ago. I just don't know if this is a statute of limitations on this, and that's when I think he realized this thing's over.
We'll box up the stuff.
And so, true story. This is what I was told.
Yeah.
This is true. And so, Rodgers must know all the machinations that went behind the scenes.
Yeah, from that.
And then Favre went and wound up coming back in division to play against them. So Rodgers would have to say, I'm out. No, I'm back in after the Jordan Love train has left the station, and then go somewhere else
For 1 year.
For 1 year.
and then show back up and start playing for the Lions or the Bears, which won't happen because they just got a kid, or the Vikings. You know what I mean? Who the hell knows? Like, you would have to do that. And still, after all of that, who walks on water in Green Bay? I'm sure there might be some Packers fans saying, I still haven't let it go with Brett Favre. Who's now showing back up and talking at Packers events and is Mr. Packer? Favre. And Rodgers sees that. But they also knew Favre had to stand for what he stood for and then went somewhere else and then showed back up and almost made the Super Bowl because that's what he wanted to do. And he's still Mr. Packer because the Packers have essentially made up with him. So you're going to go with the gambit of like, yeah, let's make him think the fans aren't on his side. I think that's a miscalculation, personally. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.